What if I told you there's a man who was struck by lightning not once, not twice, but 7 different times, and lived to tell the tale? It sounds like a comic book origin story, or a tall tale you'd hear around a campfire, but this is the 100% verified, jaw-dropping true story of Roy Sullivan, the man who became known as the human lightning rod. Welcome to Historical Figures and Moments, where we uncover the most insane true stories you've never heard. Roy Cleveland Sullivan was a United States park ranger in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. By all accounts, he was a rugged, outdoorsy man, exactly the kind of person you'd expect to find patrolling the beautiful but wild Blue Ridge Mountains. He loved his job, but nature, it seemed, had a strangely personal and electric relationship with him. Our story begins in 1942. Roy was on duty, taking shelter from a thunderstorm in a newly built fire lookout tower. The tower was so new, it didn't have a lightning rod installed yet. A storm rolled in, and lightning began striking the tower repeatedly. Roy decided it was safer outside, and made a run for it. He only got a few feet before he was hit by a bolt that he described as the worst he ever felt. It burned a half-inch strip all the way down his right leg, hit his toe, and blew a hole clean through his shoe. He lost the nail on his big toe, but incredibly, he survived. For most people, this would be a once-in-a-lifetime terrifying event. For Roy Sullivan, it was just the beginning. For the next 27 years, Roy lived a relatively lightning-free life. He continued his work as a park ranger, raised a family, and probably thought that crazy incident in the fire tower was a freak anomaly. He was wrong. The universe was just getting warmed up. Fast forward to 1969. Roy was driving his park truck along a mountain road during a storm. Normally, a car is a safe place to be in a thunderstorm because its metal frame acts as a Faraday cage, directing the electricity around the occupants and into the ground. But not for Roy. A lightning bolt struck 2 trees on one side of the road, then jumped to another tree on the other side. The bolt found the one thing in the middle, Roy's truck. The windows were open, and the electricity arced inside, striking Roy directly. The blast knocked him unconscious, and burned off all of his eyebrows and eyelashes. His truck kept rolling down the road until it came to a stop near a cliff edge. He woke up, singed and bewildered, but alive. 2 strikes. The odds were already astronomical. But it gets weirder. Just 1 year later, in 1970, Roy was off duty, tending to his garden at home. The sky was clear, with just a few clouds. He heard a rumble in the distance, but didn't think much of it. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning shot out of a small cloud, hit a nearby power transformer, and then jumped to his left shoulder. The force of the strike seared his shoulder, and threw him several feet through the air. He was knocked unconscious again. 3 strikes. At this point, you have to wonder what was going through his mind. Was he cursed? Was he some kind of bizarre electrical magnet? People started to notice. They began calling him the human lightning rod, and some even started to avoid him during storms, afraid that standing next to Roy was like holding a niner in a thunderstorm. Roy himself started to believe he was attracting the lightning. He felt a deep, creeping fear every time the clouds gathered, and he had good reason to be afraid. In 1972, he was on duty in a ranger station at Loft Mountain. Another storm was brewing. A bolt came right through the window of the station and set his hair on fire. He rushed to the restroom to douse his head under the faucet. This was the 4th time. After this incident, Roy started carrying a can of water with him everywhere he went, just in case. It was a practical, if not slightly desperate, measure against an enemy he couldn't see or predict. He was starting to feel like a hunted man, and the hunt was far from over. The very next year, in 1973, strike number 5 occurred. Roy was out patrolling in his truck again. He saw a storm cloud forming and, remembering his past experiences, tried to outrun it. He later told reporters he thought he had escaped it when he looked in his rearview mirror and saw the storm receding. But then, for some reason, he felt he had to pull over. He got out of his truck, and in that instant, A lightning bolt shot down and hit him. For the second time, his hair was set ablaze. The bolt traveled down his left side, crossed over to his right leg, and blew his shoe off. He crawled back to his truck, grabbed his trusty can of water, and put the fire out on his head. He was conscious this time, just in utter disbelief. He was driving away from the storm, and it still got him. At this point, Roy's story was legendary. He was featured in the Guinness Book of World Records. But the record wasn't complete yet. For 3 years, there was a lull. Maybe his luck had finally turned. But in 1976, while walking along a park trail, he saw a storm cloud and tried to run. The lightning got him anyway. Strike number 6 injured his ankle. He was now convinced that some force was actively trying to destroy him. He became deeply paranoid and developed a severe fear of death. Whenever a storm approached while he was driving, he would pull over and lie down on the front seat of his truck until it passed. He began to believe that he would attract lightning even if he was in a crowd of people. The final, officially recorded strike happened on a Saturday morning in June 1977. Roy was fishing in a freshwater pond. A bolt hit him on the top of his head. Once again, his hair caught fire. The electricity traveled down his body, leaving him with chest and stomach burns. As if being struck by lightning wasn't enough, as he was stumbling back to his car, a bear appeared and tried to steal the trout he had caught. Roy, having just survived his 7th lightning strike, had enough. He claimed he summoned the strength to strike the bear with a tree branch and get his fish back. This was his 22nd trip to the hospital for lightning-related injuries. And that was it. 7 times. Roy Sullivan's life is a testament to the sheer, unpredictable power of nature and the incredible resilience of the human body. Think about it. A man who lost a toenail, had his eyebrows burned off, was thrown from his truck, had his hair set on fire twice, and suffered numerous burns, all from lightning. He holds 2 Guinness World Records, one for being the person struck by lightning the most times, and another for being the most lightning-struck survivor. His singed park ranger hat is on display in 2 Guinness World exhibit halls. Sadly, Roy's story doesn't have a happy ending. The constant fear and the social isolation that came with his unique condition took a heavy toll on his mental health. He retired from the Park Service in 1976. The physical scars healed, but the psychological wounds lingered. He once said, "Lightning has a way of finding me. I'm just going to stay in the house in a thunderstorm." But even that didn't feel safe to him. The man who survived the impossible odds of nature ultimately struggled with his own internal battles. It's a powerful reminder that even the strongest survivors need support. If you or anyone you know is struggling with mental health, please know there is help available. You can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or other mental health services. There's no shame in seeking help. Roy Sullivan's story is one of the most unbelievable true accounts in modern history. A man who defied odds that are literally astronomical. What do you think? Was it just monumentally bad luck? Or was there something about Roy that truly attracted lightning? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If your mind is as blown as mine, do me a favor and smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into an insane true story. We're regrowing this channel and looking for passionate volunteers who love wild history just as much as we do. If you're interested in helping with research, scripts, editing, or even thumbnails, send us a quick message or your CV to the email in the description. We'd love to have you on the team. Drop a lightning emoji, or just type 7 times in the comments if you're as stunned as I am. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for another unbelievable story.